Hey guys, this is Megan back for part 2 of creating animated annotations using Adobe After Effects, and in this video I'm going to show you how to animate some arrows. This is a tool that could be really useful for adding extra depth to your visualizations in architectural or design presentations. So once again, just first showing that effect that we're going to be creating today. We're going to start off by using our composition that we created in the last video, and then I'll just select the pen tool using the G shortcut. As I'm doing here, you can then move the toggles to adjust. To exit out of the stroke tool, just type in V, which is the select command. I just forgot to mention firstly that I've created this stroke on a new shape layer, which I'm now going to rename. And now that I've done that, I'm going to go in and show you how to add the animation effect by going into Windows and create nulls from path, making sure that's selected at the bottom. That then brings up a pop-up window, which I'm showing you here on the screen now. But we can't do anything with that just yet. We've got to make sure that our path is selected first. To do that, I'll go and click into the arrow drop-down menu, select Contents, and then Shape 1. Under Shape 1, I'll select the path here. Once that's selected, you can then hit Track Path, and then that will identify the path that you want to create. Next, in the top left-hand corner, I'll just click over to Effect Controls to show you the parameters for that setting. You can choose to loop, which I'll deactivate for this example, and then Progress shows the amount of frames that the tracking is applicable to. Next, I'll expand that setting on the timeline where you can also see the effect controls appear. By pressing the shortcut U, I open up the keyframes for these layers and then right click on the first of the sliders here, select Keyframe Assistant, and then select Easy Ease. Next, I'll go down and select the arrow layer and click Add, which is under Contents, and add a Trim Paths. Adding a Trim Paths is what allows you to create the animation over a sequence of frames. With that done, we then want to expand the Trim Path settings and select the End Timer frame to On, and then drag that out to parent it to our top layer there. Next, we can then start to play around with our framing and where our animation is located. As you can see here, I've got it running across quite a few frames, so I might go in and adjust that and make it a shorter time frame. I've just done that by positioning the sliders along the timeline, and then I'll show you the result. So we've now finished creating the stroke of our arrow. But next we're going to need to also add the arrow head. To do that, I'm going to go up and create a new layer in our layer panel. Like before, I'm using a shape layer. And then I'll go down and rename that layer arrow head. To create the arrow head, I want to go into the add section and then add a polystar, which will be our shape. It's not quite looking like an arrowhead yet though, so we're going to expand those settings. Switch over to polygon, and then adjust the amount of sides or points to 3. In the monitor you can see that that's a triangle shape now. However, I will need to add a fill to that just to make it visible, which I'm going to do as red today. I'm then going to go and parent that arrowhead to our top layer. Which snaps it over to where we've created the arrow stroke. And you can see that the two are connected now. I'm just going to make a further few adjustments to those. By typing in S allows me to adjust the scale and resize the arrowhead, and then typing in R allows me to adjust the rotation, make sure it's going in the right direction. Now that I've created my arrow, I'm just going to trim my timeline sequence here so that you can see the effect working nice and smoothly. And then I'll drag the slider along the timeline so you can see how that's working. Once again, I'll just add some more adjustments. One thing that I have done in this video is I've accidentally left the arrowhead on the top layer on top of the null object, which means that it's always going to be visible. If you want it to disappear, just pop it behind that layer. And then once again, this is the final result here for the animated arrow.